week's Money Minutes, Ryan Payne, Courtney C-Money Dominguez.
That's my name.
Great intro. We're from Payne Capital Management. This is our Money Minutes. Every week we just like to give you common sense, practical advice you can use with your planning and investing. And one thing we get is, look, you might be making money now, your finances are getting more serious, and it's really hard to find someone that you can actually talk to. Like sometimes going to your parents, your friends that mismanage their finances, they're not the people to talk to.
Yeah, and it can be tough because maybe, people are just in a different financial situation than you, or you just really don't know if they know what they're talking about when you go to talk to them. And then there's this other realm of, okay, well, you can go to a professional like a financial advisor and get that independent advice on what you should be doing with your money. But a lot of people get nervous about that too, because there's kind of a bad rap in our industry where they say, well, they might not have my best interests either. Maybe they're just selling me products. So today we have a video for you guys where we have 5 tips when talking to an advisor to make sure that they're gonna be a good fit for you. Tip number 1, you need to check out what sort of licenses or designations that advisor has who you may be working with. Now, a lot of states have some pretty basic qualifications to give you financial advice, such as your Series 65 or your Series 66. Those mean that you have taken and passed a test that has said, I'm allowed to give financial advice to somebody.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing because it's a low hurdle to get into the financial advisory or services industry. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, but the problem is everybody can put themselves out there as a financial advisor. There's a lot of insurance people and other people that are just going to sell you products that don't really advise you on your finances, ironically. So having that baseline of a Series 65 or a Series 66 says that you're designated. Now, above and beyond that, there's also other designations you can get that basically say, I'm on the all-star team when it comes to financial planning. Things like your CFP, or Certified Financial Planning License, which I know a couple advisors that have that, and that's a whole nother level of sophistication when it comes to planning. All right, so tip number 2. It's important to know how the financial advisor or planner you're working with is getting compensated, and there's a lot of ways to do that. There's what I would call the old school, which would be commission-based, meaning someone's gonna sell you a product, they're gonna make a commission, which is gonna make you wonder, are they selling this to me because it's in my best interest, or
because they just made money off of it.
Or they just made money off it, exactly right. And I come from the old school Merrill Lynch of commission salesmen, and then I saw the light and started Payne Capital Management, where we do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, which I would say is more of the new school approach, where you're paying an advisory fee for the advice they're giving you on the accounts. You're not just paying them a commission to sell you a product, because what will happen is they just got their fee. They're not going to get feed any longer. So if you call them with all these questions, it's not really in their benefit or in their financial interest to keep talking to you. So the new school approach is paying a percentage of the assets that your advisor is actually managing. And that really builds for you and that advisor a long-term relationship that it's in both of your benefits to keep that relationship going over time.
Yeah, and just one other thing to mention about that too is, remember, planning for your future is an ongoing process. You want someone who has skin in the game, who's constantly helping you tweak and make those decisions. You don't want someone to set something up and then just forget about it. It's not set and forget it. Retirement, financial independence is a journey, not a destination.
Tip number 3, you need to ask that advisor, do they work under a fiduciary standard?
Whoa, Courtney, that's a big word.
Yes.
What does fiduciary mean?
Yes, it's become a big buzzword in our industry actually. But really what that means is they have to act in your best interest. Which seems crazy that this is even a law or something you have to ask somebody, but that is what it means, is they have your best interest in heart, not theirs.
Yeah, now this is amazing because, again, I come from one of the big brokerage houses, Merrill Lynch, you have Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, UBS, just a couple of other big name firms. They actually don't have to act in your best interest. You would think it'd be the other way around, sounds counterintuitive, but the reality of it is they've actually lobbied to Congress to make sure that the advice they give is just quote unquote suitable and they're not liable for their advice. It's not enough of a standard if you're going to have someone give you advice per se.
Yeah, so let's say that I go to an advisor and I have told them what I'm trying to accomplish here. There's a whole realm of products that you can look at. They may just look at the products that are at their own firm. So maybe Morgan Stanley's going to recommend you Morgan Stanley funds. Merrill Lynch may recommend Merrill Lynch funds. However, as a fiduciary, you have to look at all of the products available that may make sense for you and pick what is in your best interest, not just the company that's actually offering it.
Yeah, so bottom line is the first question you want to ask is, are you a fiduciary? And if they're not, don't walk away, run away, because by law, you want someone who has to act in your best interest. Okay, tip number 4, it's really about an ongoing relationship, like I said earlier. Remember, financial planning, getting on your path to financial freedom is really a journey, not a destination. And why that's important is you want to establish up front how many times is your advisor going to call you. Is it monthly, quarterly? Because Court, I know one thing we experience is when people come to our offices is I never hear from my financial advisor.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, which is frustrating. It's like you found somebody you really like, you really trust, you want to work with them with your money, and you're basically ghosted. You don't hear from them for a long period of time, which when it comes to your money, you need somebody who's going to be there. Times where it's hard to be an investor and even times where it's easy, you still want to hear from them.
Yeah, and hopefully they wear cool sweaters as well.
Exactly. Tip number 5, you can actually check out that advisor right online to see if there's ever been any sort of regulatory issues or just anything you should be concerned about. It's all documented right through the regulatory websites.
Yeah, so you can find out if they have a ding on their record, they've done things questionable in the past, and make sure you put the full name in. I just Googled my name, Ryan Payne, like I do often, and I found there's like literally 20 other advisors with my name. So make sure it's the right advisor. Now, Courtney, if I put your name in there, Courtney Dominguez, am I going to find anything questionable?
Absolutely not. And even better, I think I'm the only Courtney Dominguez that I'll find on there.
Oh my God, your middle name's Lorraine. Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
Okay, so wrap it up here. Here are the 5 things you need to do when you're looking to find that person who's going to help you guide you with your finances.
Number 1, ask them what certifications or designations they have that gives them the ability to give you advice on your investments.
Number 2, find out how they're getting paid. Is it old school commission, broker, or new school fee-based?
Number 3, ask them if they are a fiduciary. They'll know what that is and they'll be able to give you an answer.
Number 4, find out exactly what level of service they're going to provide. Are they going to call you monthly, quarterly? Don't let your financial advisor ghost on you.
Tip number 5, check them out on the SEC website. Just see if there's anything that you should be worried about or maybe anything they didn't tell you in that meeting that you can actually check on yourself.
Now, if you want to get a summary of all 5 tips, you can download our guide for free. We put it all together for you. Simply click on the link below. And finally, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can get our weekly timely content if you find it valuable. Every week, we're going to put out new tips to make sure you're on track for your path to financial freedom. That's this week's Money Minutes. As always, be bullish.